So what we're going to do today is show you the recipe I've been using to make this tomato jam, and it's absolutely delicious. Let's get into it. All right, what we have here is 2 pounds of ripe on the vine tomatoes. I've taken off and washed a little bit. We got a little bit of salt, some lemon, some apple cider vinegar, and brown sugar. You can absolutely use white sugar if you want, but brown sugar to me has a little bit more of a sweetness to it, and it's going to make it a little more rich, so that's what I'm going with. Okay, all the measurements, I'll put it in cups and grams. I prefer grams. Always use a scale. To me, it's just way more accurate when you're baking or even cooking for that matter. I just think grams are the way to go. So in the recipe down below in the description, I'll have grams, and I'll also have cups and teaspoons and all of that for you. All right, let's jump into this bacon jam. Real easy thing to do. We're gonna get our burners set up over here. So when I first looked up this recipe to make one, I found a lot of different, like anything, you find all kinds of recipes that you can use. And some left the skin on, and for whatever reason, that just didn't seem appealing to me. So what I decided to do is I found a couple of recipes that actually take the skin off, and they get a little cutting board. They get their tomatoes. And all they do is they just slice this like X in the bottom, which works really well. And then you're just going to drop this into the hot water. So X. And what this is going to do is just make it easy to peel these skins once we get them boiled for 3 to 5 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes, something like that. Not a real long time. But I'm about to overflow here. Okay. Boom. We barely made it. So we have our tomatoes in there. We're going to let these go, like I said, for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then we're going to pull them out, let them cool. We'll peel them, and then we'll get ready to start making our tomato jam. All right, we've had these in here for about 4 minutes now. And really what you're trying to do is just get that skin to release from the tomato. You're not trying to cook the tomato at all. So these are done what we want them to do. The skins are starting to come off, make it easy to peel. So some of you might be asking, what are you going to use tomato jam for? And it's very versatile. I mean, it's just got this great kind of rich sweetness, this depth to it. It's just absolutely delicious. And it's really versatile. You can use it for a lot of different things. Think about, a turkey and brie, sandwich that you want to toast, and putting some tomato jam on there can be fantastic. Putting it on an appetizer. If you're gonna make some crostini with a little tomato jam, and you can put some prosciutto and dress it up a little bit with that. You could also use this on some toast in the morning with some avocado, and do avocado toast with a layer of that being tomato jam. And it's just good as a dip too. I mean, seriously, make it one time. And if you don't like it, I'd love to know about it, but I can't imagine that if you're into tomatoes at all, you're into jams at all, you're going to absolutely love this. All right, tomatoes aren't super duper hot. I think I can get, I take that back. They're freaking hot. We're going to give them a few more minutes. Holy cow. Okay, now we're back. It's been a few minutes, and the tomatoes, now I know, have cooled down. So let's just, real quick, just go ahead and take these skins off. You can see how easy these come off with that little technique. And I gotta be honest, I don't know that I would have known that without watching somebody else do it, but I thought it was a good idea, and it is. It actually works really well. I mean, look how these just kind of come right off and just lift right up, just pull them right off. All right, now what we're going to do is just kind of take out these, I call them the stems, I don't know what the technical term is. I've seen some people leave them in. For me, I don't know, I'm a big texture guy. Things have to think or taste right. So I don't want that in there for me, so I'm taking them out. Man, I tell you what, making a little mess. Sounds all wet and sloppy in there. Uh-oh. Just in case you don't know. Big fan of Michael Scott. I think what I'm going to do is swap these out. So stainless steel is what we got. We got this on medium high. We're going to let this start to get a little bit warm. I'm going to go ahead and let my tomatoes and juice and everything kind of warm up as the pan's warming up. Guys, tell me down below. I've had this potato masher, meat masher forever. And I'd seen a lot of videos where everybody was saying this beats it by a long way. I bought this a couple months ago. I gotta tell you, I'm not impressed. I don't know if I'm not, I mean, I don't think it's hard to use, but maybe I'm not using it right, but it's just kind of a sit and spin, if you will. I just don't like it. I don't think it's very good. So I'm a bigger fan of this old-fashioned potato masher, meat masher, and that's what we're gonna use here. And I got pretty good amount of water in here right now. I might add just a little bit more, but kind of. And these tomatoes, as they start to cook, obviously they're going to get softer. And so we're going to mash them this kind of, they call this the first mash. And then we're going to come back in and mash them a second time here in just a minute, because they'll break up a little bit more as they start to cook and soften up a little bit. So here's kind of what you're looking at with that consistency once you kind of get broken up a little bit. All right, starting to go good. We're going to get ready here in just a second, start adding some of our other ingredients. Rubber spatula, my tool of choice. So again, we got our salt. We're just going to throw that in real quick. Give that a quick mix. We're going to come in with our brown sugar. And again, all the exact measurements will be listed in the recipe down below. Here's where we start to get some of that change of color. We got this bright red color, kind of this, you know, I don't know what you'd call that red, but very bright. And we're going to start seeing that kind of deepen. And as this sugar, brown sugar, cooks in here with those tomatoes, it's just going to continue to change color and get a little deeper in color. Put in a little lemon juice. About 2 tablespoons. We're going to go a little apple cider vinegar. About 1 tablespoon. Now we just wait. It takes just to let this bad boy reduce down. And we're going to have us some deliciousness. Nice color to it. Looking good. Looking very good. Now, if you're getting too much of a boil, because again, you don't want this to go too fast. You want it to have time to kind of, you know, extract and condense these flavors that are in there so that we have this nice jam when we're done. So just watch. You just want like slight bubbles. You just want some bubbles. You don't want a rolling boil. You just want, you know, slight kind of boil, simmer, if you will. I don't know, something like that, but just a slight boil. And let it reduce down slowly. Again, you know, you can go sit down, come back every 5-10 minutes and just kind of give her a stir, because it does take a little bit of time. All right, we are getting close. I mean, you can see the color on this has really changed. Let me bring you guys in for a look. So, getting really close. You can see how much darker the color is. I mean, let's be honest, it's starting to look like jam. So yeah, this is looking real good. We're going to get this, you know, we're a couple minutes away from this being done. You can see how much it's reduced down. I mean, it's really reduced down a lot. But what we're going to do is, once we get this to a consistency we like, we're going to pull it out, put it in a bowl, let it cool down in there, and then we're going to put it in a jar. I'm going to let it cool down in the bowl first. Still want it to get just a little bit more reduction to it. So a couple more minutes and we'll be done. So when we get this done and we're getting real close, we're just going to put it in a bowl first to cool, but then we'll put it in this canning jar. I don't know what these are called, but that'll help keep it sealed and ready to go. Into a bowl right here. I mean, just looks like jam. Okay, that's our tomato jam. Looks really good. So let's just grab a spoon. I know we wasted a dish, but it's just so much easier to go from the pan to this bowl into the jar than it is, you know, from the pan to the jar. So that's why I did that. And this is still this is really, I mean, it looks just like jelly, just like a jam. Every time I've made this with this recipe, it just completely fills this up and just works perfectly. Might have a little much, but not too bad. All right. There you go. There you go. There's our tomato jam. Still pretty hot. We'll let that cool down. But that's pretty good looking tomato jam.